everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Table 1 History. So we left off in Worlds 2007 in Hawaii, where I cracked open my head. I played that crazy rogue Banette Evolutions deck. Diego Casiraga made it all the way to debate. I bubbled out of top 16, which was a little unfortunate, but had a great time. And then we were off into the 2008 season. Diamond and Pearl had just been released not too long ago, and we started getting the Diamond and Pearl sets and probably entering one of the best eras of Pokemon TCG. I definitely remember Diamond and Pearl very fondly, like not only the trading card game aspect of it, but also the video game. That's when I really started getting into EV training, shiny hunting. Like I would play, I was so into it that I bought back then there weren't simultaneous worldwide releases for the video game. Japanese players would get the video game first, and then you would the rest of the world would get it essentially. But I was so hooked and I really wanted to get to playing that I ended up purchasing a Japanese copy of Pokemon Diamond, which I probably still have lying around somewhere here or at my mom's house. But anyways, I don't remember honestly too much about this season overall, other than two like instances. I remember playing, or I remember doing decently well at city championships, smallish tournaments, but I distinctly remember back-to-back weekends where I won back-to-back state championships in Mexico City, which is ironic. It's not Mexico City, it's just you call it Mexico City. It's called Federal District, or it was called, it's no longer called that. Now it's CDMX. It's weird, Mexico's weird. Mexico's states, or just where I live, it's weird. Anyways, I won that state championship, and then I won the neighboring state championship in like back-to-back runs where I went something like 16-1 with a deck similar to the one that you're seeing right now. So the deck that you have right here, there's 11 Fire Energy behind me, is the list I used at Worlds 2008. And I got hooked on this deck back at the state championships. I wasn't using Typhlosion, I was actually using Blaziken, which had the same ability Firestarter. It was a reprint of the 2004 Ruby Sapphire Blaziken that came out in Power Keeper, so I was definitely very in love with that card. It brought me so much success. I was like, okay, it got reprinted, I'll definitely keep using it, right? And I was pairing it with Magmortar, which was similar to Blaziken EX, with the level X being able to snipe on the bench. You would snipe your opponent's Cladles or your opponent's Blazikens if they were playing that. Magmortar also healed with its Pokebody, could do unlimited damage essentially, could do spread damage as well. So it was a really versatile deck. And I remember the Pachirisus were really, really useful for the Call for Final attack, but also the other attack, Sneak Short or Smash Short, I can't tell, the card's too small. You discard a tool, I believe, so that was pretty big back then. There weren't many ways to discard tools before Windstorm, or after Windstorm rotate, I'm not even sure. Like it's all like a big blur to me at this point. I generally, I went through posts on Pokegym, on other forums, and I tried finding more information about the 2008 season and what I did and what I played. And I had this crazy states run that made me fall in love with Magmortar essentially more than the Firestarter strategy. We had Typhlosion as well that got released with a Firestarter ability. So for Worlds I decided to play Typhlosion, Magmortar with the crazy 1/1 Dusknoir tech. So back then, Gardevoir Gallade obviously was considered the best deck in the format, and not only considered, it definitely was the best deck in the format by far. But I was very stubborn. And I was very in love with the Firestarter strategy. And I was so sure that this deck did well against Gardevoir Gallade. And at Worlds, I believe there were 8 rounds, I played against 6 different Gardevoir. It was 8 rounds. I played against 6 Gardevoir Gallades, and I played against 2 other decks, which I couldn't find. I distinctly remember writing down my report and really talking about how important the Dusknoir was during the run, because nobody saw the Dusknoir coming. Absolutely no one. Yeah, this Dusknoir, your opponent had 4 more bench Pokemon, allowed you to shuffle one of their bench Pokemon back into the deck. So when you evolved it, like out of the blue, Duskull, Rare Candy, Dusknoir, it really surprised opponents. They were not prepared for it in this sort of deck, right? It was very expected in other decks like Gardevoir, Gallade and whatnot, but in this deck it was never expected, and you pulled it off and it was fantastic. And you eliminated 2 threats essentially in one turn, or like you could shuffle one and then snipe the other with Magmortar low legs. It was just really, really fantastic, really, really good. And I beat 5 out of the 6 Gardevoir Gallades that I played at the 2008 Worlds. I lost to 1 and I lost to the other 2 decks that were not Gardevoir Gallade decks. I believe one was Dragonite or Ampharos, I'm not entirely sure. I think it was Ampharos, one of them. I'll keep searching for my Worlds report, but I couldn't find it in like the places where it had to be, right? I can't imagine where else I could have posted it. But yeah, this deck, like, I loved fire decks, I loved the fire starter ability, and then we had Magmortar combining really nicely. We had Claydol that offered so much consistency, Baby Search, which allowed you to search your deck, find specific Pokemon, set up. I don't know, this season, like, you had Comeback Mechanic with Scramble Energy, you had DC as well to help you attack. This season was just absolutely fantastic. With the Scramble Energy, I still remember attacking with Dusknoir as well at some point during the tournament, and I pulled a time-space distortion out of packs at some point. During the early season, it was like this really sought after card, and it was useful as well. You could get, it was flippy, right? But you'd get Pokemon back into your hand. It's different than the night maintenance. And I remember I pulled the card and I was like, I'm gonna play this the whole season, so I'm including it in my Worlds list. And look, like, it's single prizers, could get 1 shots. Most of the time you were training 2 shots. I don't know, like, I'm doing this, I'm looking at this, and Pokemon used to be so good, so good, and now I was playing. I decided to join one of the cash tournaments the other day, and I played round 1, and I essentially lost the coin flip. Turn 2, I didn't get a supporter, I drew past. Turn 3, I got, turn 2, I got Horror Housed, and then turn 3, I got Donked, and that was it in a mirror match, right? So I don't know, it's like, the game right now feels, I definitely think the 2020-2021 standard format is, after having played 20 years of Pokemon, is the absolute worst standard format we've ever had. Got a little better towards the end with the variety that Battle Styles gave us and Chilling Reign, but overall I would rank it like as the absolute worst standard format by far. And I mean, maybe this has to do with there not being any tournaments or anything, but I can't imagine flying to Australia, for example, to the Oceania International, all the way from Mexico, sitting down to play 10-minute games and waiting 20 minutes for the next round, because that's how quick games end. Like, playing 3-4 turns, game's over. 3-4 turns, game's over. Oh, your opponent drew 2 turns, game's over. Like, I don't know. I'm hoping Sword and Shield will be better, from what I've read and from what I've seen, with Chill and Rain, with Battle Styles, especially VMAX or the Rapid Strike Urshifu really gatekeeping single price decks. It's not looking fantastic, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. But anyways, I'm digressing. It's just I'm struggling here to really come up with more things to say, because I don't remember. It's been so long. I do remember though that, like, I was in university back then. Chemical engineering is a pretty demanding degree, and so I was definitely struggling and juggling between remaining competitive at Pokemon and other interests, right, such as studying, hanging out with friends, personal life, playing soccer as well, and competing. And I wasn't playing as much Pokemon. as I was during 2004, 5, 6, and 7. But I don't know, like I didn't play Gardevoir Gallade out of stubbornness. I didn't play it once in a single tournament the whole season. The only time I played Gardevoir Gallade during the season was the day before Worlds. One of my Argentinian friends, I kept telling him, no, Gardevoir Gallade's not great, blah blah, Magmortar is better. And I told him I hadn't played Gardevoir Gallade yet, but I'm confident I could play it well, right? I haven't personally used it at any tournaments, but I practiced with it. I'm confident I could play it well. And I was like, no, I've played it for the last 3 months, there's no way, blah blah. There's so many intricacies to it. I'll challenge you to a mirror match to show you how it's very different, right? And we played a best of 3 and I defeated him 2-0 in the mirror match. That I definitely remember the night before Worlds. And then Worlds I beat 5 out of the 6 Gardevoir Gallades that I played. Ended up with a 5-3 record, which was not enough to top 32. I was 1 win away. I ended up something like 36, 37, I don't know. My resistance was pretty high, but I didn't make the cut. So I really, I don't remember much about this. I wasn't playing as much, and 2009 is when 2009 and 2010 is when I played the least amount of Pokemon, especially 2010. 2009 definitely, with all the SP decks and whatnot. Actually, I think I played way more 2009, now that I'm thinking about it, than 2008. Definitely 2010 and 2011 is when I was sort of taking a break from Pokemon, focusing on school, but we'll get to that. So shorter episode today, not too many interesting anecdotes here, but I'm sure this is a deck that I'm sure you haven't seen, because it wasn't popular, nobody used it, nobody believed in it, nobody had the 1/1 Dusknoir in it, but the 1/1 Dusknoir, I made there's a picture of me. I'll see if I can find it somewhere. But I know there's a picture that even Jason Klasinski commented jokingly, dude, you're losing 6-1. What the heck? Yeah, I was playing against Gardevoir Gallade round 1 at Worlds 2008. Rounds were best of 1. I was down 5 prizes. My opponent needed 1 more prize card to take. I needed 6. I baited him somehow, I don't remember exactly how, into breaking the Psychic Lock from Gardevoir that allowed me to use abilities, and then I went crazy with Dusknoir, shuffled something, knocked out something else, and I was able to turn the game around and win the game, never letting my opponent take that last prize card. That I do remember, and that was a crazy comeback, and I still remember that picture of the... It was very clear, you could see I still had 6 prizes and my opponent had 1. And he had Gardevoir and Gallade. There was an Absol EX in play somewhere. He had his own Dusknoirs as well. Pretty cool. That's just the game. The game was fantastic. Single prize Pokemon is how real Pokemon should be played. Honestly, I'm gonna start sounding like a grumpy old man, but single prize Pokemon is definitely. It's just more fun and more skill oriented, and that's what I enjoy. Right. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. Shorter episode today. I'll see you next Sunday. Hope you're enjoying the double uploads daily. I'll try to keep it up, and I'll see you.